All right, here we are in my kitchen, and want to make sure that all my children have all of my recipes as they get a little older. And so we need to make sure that that happens. So I'm going to show you now my recipe for meatloaf, okay? And here's the ingredients that you will need. You will need a Progresso. Do not use anything else. Progresso Italian breadcrumbs, Italian style. That's Progresso. No more pretzels, John. Have some oranges, okay? We also need to have Weilers. We need to have Weilers of beef granules. That's very important. We need to have minced garlic. It can be dried garlic, that's okay. And onions. Now, I've been using the minced and the dried, so you can use those, but you know what? It's even better if you use fresh. Just chop them up real fine. That's really, really good. You'll need ketchup, and this is the Rick size ketchup. And always use Heinz, that's the best. Just the best ketchup there is. And we'll need eggs. Now, I use Eggland's Best, and this is not a commercial for Eggland's Best, but Eggland's Best is the best kind of eggs to get. And you'll need about 2 or 3 depending on the amount of meat that you are using for your meatloaf. Right here, and of course you will need a large bowl. This is the kind of size bowl that I have. And I think this one is I don't know. It's a large bowl, okay?
A large bowl.
It's just a large bowl. And here I have, last but not least, ground beef. Always get the 80%. You don't want it real lean because then it will be too dry. So you need to get like 80% lean, 20% fat, which is the ground chuck beef. That's the best to get. What I have here is net weight is 2.87 pounds. It's kind of huge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of it in a meatloaf, probably about 3/4 of it or so. And then the rest we're going to make freeze into hamburger patties for Dad and I to eat later, which is very good for us because we're on low carb. Okay, one other ingredient, I am so sorry. One other ingredient is bacon. And this is, of course, our big size of bacon. You want some more pretzels?
Okay.
Well, you're supposed to eat your oranges, though. Okay, so this is the large size of bacon that you will need as well. Okay? Very good. Actually, you don't need the large size of bacon. You need bacon, and it's probably going to be about 4 or 5 strips of bacon. Okay? And I will be back in a moment. Okay, now we're recording again. One of the things that I forgot, one of the other things that you have to have. John, shh. No more pretzels. We're not going to have pretzels. It's too close to dinner time now. One of the other things that you will need, finally, last but not least, is your pan. And I use, my little roaster. That's just this little roaster. I always have one with a top. And this is just that really tiniest of the roasters that you can actually buy. So you'll see this.
Get some more pretzels.
You can ask Papa to get some more pretzels? I don't think so. Playing in both ends against the middle, eh? But this is another one. This is the roaster that you can use. Just use the small size. And also the last thing that you'll need is Pillsbury's brown gravy mix, and I'll show you that a little later on. Oh, I gotta look nice for my pans. Okay, that's it. Okay.
I'll go get it.
All right. Now, one of the important things is to wash your hands, of course, and I've done that. And the next thing is to open up your package of your ground meat. You can see the large package that I have here. And I'm going to actually just cut it right there. I'm just going to take about, like I said, about 3/4 of it. So, I don't know how much that is, but it was a 2.87 pounds of ground meat. No, honey, I don't want to do the bongos right now. You want to do the bongos, John? Okay, hold on, everybody. I got to do the bongos for John. Here we go, John. There's your bongos. There's one. And there's two. You can play your bongos. Okay, now we're back. So we've got about 3/4 of that ground meat in here. Can you see it? We've got about 3/4 of the ground meat into our bowl. And next we are going to add a couple of eggs.
We're not Papa's house.
We're not at Papa's house.
No, we're not Papa's house.
Add a couple of eggs.
We're not Papa's house.
Yes, we are, babe. We're at Nana and Papa's house. Next, we're going to add.
Huh.
And next, we're going to add our minced garlic.
Yeah.
And the way we do that is we take it and we put it in our hand. Let's see if I can get this to go up here a little bit so that you can actually see it. There we go. That's good. We put the minced garlic in our hand first, okay? So you can see about how much. You see how much I got there? Okay. And then I'm not going to put all that in. I'm going to sprinkle it over the top, and that's about it. And I'm going to put the rest back. Can you see how much I spread over the top? Just sprinkled it so that you can see it over the top. And the next thing you want to do is your minced onion. Same thing. Put it in your hand. Oops, this one's got to be opened. Get out my handy dandy Olfa knife. Everybody knows Nana carries that. Okay. Take it, put it in your hand, and you always put it in your hand because if you put it, just sprinkle it in here, what can happen is that too much can fall into your meat. So you always want to put it in your hand for safekeeping. And then again, just sprinkle it over the top. And this could, just a little bit more. And this is the large minced onion. So I'm going to just bring that up to the camera so you can actually see. So you've got minced onion in there now, eggs, and you've got your garlic. Next, we're going to add the Weiler's beef bouillon granules, just the granules. And the way that we do that is not putting it in your hand, but just taking it and just sprinkling it. You just see, you know what, I'm going to try to measure it out. I'm going to say 1/4 of a cup. Whoa, that's way too much, way too much. Let's try 1/8 of a cup. Let's try it by the tablespoons. Okay. Okay, this is 1 tablespoon of the Weiler's beef bouillon. Oh boy, can't get it back in the picture. There we go. And I'm going to sprinkle that all in here. So it's about 1.5, 1.25 tablespoons of the Weiler's beef bouillon. Now, see if you can see that bouillon. You see the brown stuff? I don't know if you can see that very well. But it just sprinkles. You don't want a whole lot of it. You just want some of it. Okay? We've got our eggs, our minced onion, our minced garlic. We've got our Weiler's beef bouillon granules in there. And next, the magic touch is the Heinz ketchup. We're going to put in, again, I'll measure this for you guys so that you'll have an idea. One, two, about a good, close to 3 tablespoons of ketchup. Okay? Don't ever waste anything. There you go. All right. And last but not least, and I forgot to tell you this. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that on there. I'm just going to say. Oh, I've got my alarm going off. Okay, you have to wait. I'll be back. And you will need a 1/4 cup of water for the ingredients. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. Next thing you want to do is you're going to mix that all up real good with your hands. Don't be bashful, don't be shy. Your hands make the best mixers. They were invented before the spoons. So you're going to mix that all up good. And just keep like folding it over. See how I'm doing this? See how I'm pulling it over and turning it? There you go. And a lot of times what I will do is once I've done this, well, this has got a lot of liquid, but once I have done this, you might want to use almost a full 2.5 pounds or 2 3/4 pounds because there's a lot of liquid in this one for this. Sometimes I'll add just a little bit more of the onion and a little bit more of the Weilers, just maybe a teaspoon or so. Mix that up real good again. Now you don't want to overmix your meatloaf because to overmix it will make it yucky. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Progresso breadcrumbs. So 1 second, I'll add the Progresso breadcrumbs. We are recording, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Alright, next we're going to add the Progresso breadcrumbs. And again, this is the Italian style breadcrumbs. And I'm going to use a 1/3 cup to start with. And we're going to sprinkle that in here. And that looks like it's going to do it, a 1/3 cup. So we're going to try that. We're going to work it. Again, just folding it up and over. Up and over. Not too harsh. But you don't want to be timid either. Up and over. Okay, that did not do it. That is still not the consistency we're looking for. So we're going to go with another 1/3 cup. Sprinkle that in. Now we have 2/3 cup in there, guys. 2/3 cup. And now this is what it's looking like. Okay, now we're starting to see it get a little drier. We're starting to absorb some of that liquid. And you can see that it's forming a ball. You see that? See the ball that it's formed? It just kind of comes together. It's amazing. There we go. There we go. Make sure there's no dry pockets. By that I mean, see this? See that? It was hiding under there. It's a dry pocket. We don't want that. We want to make sure that we got that all opened up and mixed in. Because boy, if somebody gets that, you're going to get a piece of dry meatloaf. Okay. This is all ready to go because you can see the consistency. You see that? Can you just get that? This is a little bit maybe more wet than I like it to be. I'm going to add just a touch more meatloaf. I mean, a touch more of the breadcrumbs. So that was 2/3 cup plus, just a tad. Okay. Getting that all turned around. Again, trying not to, what you don't want is you don't want any breadcrumbs showing on the top. They need to be mixed in so we don't see any white, we don't see any dryness. All right. God bless you, John. before you do anything else, always make sure your pan is nice and clean.
Yeah.
Just nice and clean. All right, so now we have our pan. As you can see here, I do not put any spray in there. I don't put anything in the bottom. I simply take my meatloaf out of my dish and I put it into my pan. And this is when I form it. This is how you form it. You just keep working with it just like you would any other piece of dough or clay or whatever. You just keep working it until you form into a meatloaf. You know what a meatloaf looks like. So it kind of conforms almost to the shape of the pan. Now you don't want it too thick, but you also don't want it too thin. So don't make it a pancake. This one is, just see here, kind of shaped to the pan. It's got like an oval shape. Okay, turn it around so I get this side nice and oval shape. When you take it out, presentation is everything. So there you've got, see how I've got it oval shaped? See how nice that looks in that pan? Looks great. And the noise you hear in the background is John playing with his toys. All right. Now, the final touch with this is the bacon. That's what really gives it that great flavor. So hang on, we're going to do the bacon. Not stuck anymore? All right, what we want to do is we want to place our bacon right over the top. So that it totally covers the top. And I like to throw a piece down by the side as well. And by the other side. So that it not only covers the top, this is the grossest bacon I've ever seen. Your dad will eat just about anything, and this bacon does not look like it's so hot. But all right, see how I've got the bacon on there? It's along the sides of the pan, and it covers the top. Yes, sweetheart. What, honey? Oh dear, it came apart.
Oh dear.
Your tunnel came apart. There we go, sweetie. Oops, I gotta get down. Wait. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to bake this masterpiece, this wonderful meatloaf, in a 350-degree oven for about an hour. I like to cook it like that. To me, it's better. So you're going to bake it for about an hour. Some people let it go only 45 minutes, but I'm going to let it go for about an hour at 350 degrees, and then we'll come back and see what the finished product is all about. Love you guys. this is your beautiful, beautiful, perfectly done meatloaf. And serve it with some good mixed veggies and possibly some mashed potato. Okay, when you are all done, you're going to find that you've got all this wonderful juice in the bottom of the pan. Can you see all that wonderful juice? And that's going to be from your
The meatloaf?
wait, that's going to be from your beef granules. That's going to be from the meatloaf. The beef granules that you put in there, the Weiler's beef granules that you put in there, as well as all the wonderful juices from the meatloaf and the bacon are going to mix up to make this wonderful, luscious juice. Can you see that? Is it getting a good shot of that wonderful, luscious juice? All right, you're going to get this juice and you're going to try to pour off some of the grease a little bit, but you're going to add that to the Pillsbury's brown gravy mix. And the brown gravy mix will tell you how to make the brown gravy. And get a shot of this, please, here, inside of here. Then you're going to add about 3 of these large spoonfuls of that juice from the meat into the 1 1/4 cup of Pillsbury's brown gravy mix. And you can see how luscious and wonderful it is. And that's what you're going to use for your gravy. I hope you enjoy. And here's how we're cutting the meatloaf. Just wanted you to get a real good look at that and see what that looks like. See it and just get a good close-up. It's all nice and brown. There's no real red in it or anything like that. This cooked for just about an hour at 350. Doesn't that look luscious? And of course, again, we're serving it with mixed vegetables today. 12 grams to 2/3 of a cup, so be careful. And we're going to serve it with some mashed potatoes and the wonderful gravy from Pillsbury, plus the mixture of our juices in there too.